Today we have a fabulous read. It's called The New England Primer. Just a little tiny book. I could read the whole thing in probably an hour at the most. And it's incredible. It was first published in 1690, and it was published by, what's his name? Benjamin Harris in 1690. Like 100 years before, just nearly 100 years before the Constitution of the United States. This thing was used in classes in schoolhouses across America until 1900. So 210 years this thing was around, and then we got smart, right? Then we got so progressive that we didn't need this anymore. Now, this book is very biblical, and it talks a lot about death. Now, why? Well, number one, in 1690, death was a common occurrence, and it was frequent, and it could happen to anybody any day because of the lack of knowledge about germs and different things like that, and the proper care. You know, now we have death as occurrence because of cancer and everything else, and diabetes because of diet and stuff, I think, a lot, and modern technology, and we linger on, and people can live a lot more years than before, obviously. But so they have a lot of things in here. And this started out this was a primer. This started out in the first grade. Now, one thing about this primer, this one was done by Wall Builders, David Barton, and he republished it in 1990, I think it was. And a couple things. This is standard back in the time. If you read anything from the founding era, all the F's, as the F's were S's. Or the S's were, the S's were F's. So like it says, to which is added the Assembly of Divineness and Mr. Cotton's Catechism. Well, catechism is spelled as Catechif, as in Frank M, because the S were S. You spell catechism, and assembly is AFFES, or EMBLY. So it's really assembly. So it takes you a little bit to get used to that if you haven't read it before, but you pick up on it pretty quick. Every once in a while it's like, what is that word? Is it supposed to be, is it supposed to be an F, or is it supposed to be an S? Like, if you do wise or wife, is it supposed to be wife? But you get in context, you pick it up, it goes pretty quick. Well, there are some fabulous things. And you think about the founding generation, they all studied this. So think of kind of what people that was producing. Now, whether you believe in the Bible or not, which I ardently do, everyone agrees that there's morals, right? Now, there's different levels of morals. Someone might say it's okay to commit adultery, and someone might say it's not. But the person that says it's okay to commit adultery probably isn't okay with murder. They think it's wrong. There's a certain level where someone's going to say, no, that's wrong. Some people might say I think it's wrong to kiss anybody before you're married, and that's their level is much a higher standard. So wherever your levels of morality is, this book teaches morals, and it teaches fabulous morals. And the more that people would adhere to a higher moral law, the happier the society, the less laws that are intact. Because whenever a society becomes less moral, well, obviously you have to increase the laws, and that's why we have so many laws in America today, is because we have to regulate the people because they don't govern themselves, right? So that they have to keep doing more and more laws, because when the morals go down, the crime goes up. It's just white collar crime and blue collar crime and the whole shebang. So anyway, so they start out with the alphabet. One of the first ones they do is Adam's fall, we sinned all. Okay, that's how you learn A. Let me show you, get a close up on that. Can you see that? Adam's all, we sinned all. Adam's fall, we sinned all. B is heaven to find the Bible mind. C, Christ crucified for sinners died. D, the deluge drowned the earth around. I mean, so you're right into Bible. You're right into it. I mean, the very first sentence. That goes through the whole thing. Then it talks about lessons for youth. I mean, ask all these questions. Who was the first man? Who was the first woman? Who was the first murderer? Who was the first martyr? So it's going to ask all these questions. Now, these are all Bible related, obviously. has the Lord's Prayer in here, has the Creed, Dr. Watt's Cradle Hymn, and they're just some really, really good things. There's verses for children. And remember, you're learning this when you're 6 or 7 years old, right? When you're first starting school. Good children must, listen to this, good children must fear God all day, parents obey, no false things say, by no sin stray. Love Christ alway, in secret pray, mind little play, make no delay in doing good. Is that awesome or what? Now, mind little play. They knew that industry, hard work, doing your responsibilities brought happiness. And play doesn't. Play, recreation is important, leisure is important, but it's not the pastime. It's not the thing to do. It's very, it should be limited. It should be sparse. Is that the right? I mean, it shouldn't be very often. Because why? Because when people play all the time, it makes them dull, and it makes them lazy, and it doesn't create this character, this work ethic that's so important. They talk about death a lot, like I said. So they have this one. In the burying place may see, grave shorter there than I. So you're going to go to the cemetery. That's what they're talking about. You're going to see graves shorter than me. They're going to be small. That means that people were younger than me when they died. From death's arrest, no age is free. So no one's free of death. Everyone's going to die. If we thought about that more often as a society, would you imagine the change that we'd have? Because people thought, oh, I might die tomorrow. I better be better. Now, people say they don't believe in God, but you're still going to think twice. Most people are going to think twice if they really thought they were going to die tomorrow. Because what if they're wrong? Now, obviously, there is a God, and He is He is watching what we're doing. So, from death's arrest, no age is free. Young children too must die. My God, may such an awful sight, I think that's sight because it has an F for fight, but I think may God, may such an awful sight, awakening be to me. So if I'll see someone else die, will that wake me up and cause me to be better and be a better person? Oh, that by early grace I might for death prepared be. Please help me be prepared for death so I can meet my Maker. Awesome, awesome. Now I lay me down to take my sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Now, I love this. And there's a comedian, I can't remember his name, but I'm going to try to put the link on there of when he does this. When he does this little prayer. It's so funny. But think about it. You could have laid down and died in the night. People did it back then. And so just this continuing reminder of how short life is, of hard work, of doing your duty, of remembering God, and doing what you're supposed to do. There's another little spot I want to find here. By the way, they have proper names in here. They have syllables. They have 1-syllable words, 2-syllable words. And listen to these words. Here's words of 5 syllables. Abominable. Fermentation. Exhortation. Now this is children going through this stuff. 3-syllable words. Barbarous. Benefit. Candlestick. Words of 4 syllables would be diligently, dutifully, formidably. Just awesome. I just think it's awesome because hard work is mental is hard work. So we should have hard work in our studies. We shouldn't just, it comes easy, go through this little workbook, it means nothing, you know what I mean? I mean, we got kids that are graduating from high school that can't read. Hello! I had a friend that was teaching science, and a third of his class, this was 2 years ago, a third of his class had to go down to the testing center so they could read them the test because they couldn't read. Then he tried to fail a thing, and the principal calls him up and says, we don't fail anybody. What is that? Let's be men, let's be women, let's stand up and do what we're supposed to do, but let's do stuff that's hard. Let's be better than we are. Why be pathetic losers? Why be average? Why be slothful? Why be lazy? We want to feel great? Then let's do stuff that's hard and do things that are great. I know I'm passionate about that, but I'm just so tired of our society that's so decadent that we just got to play all the time. We're entitled to everything, and we don't have to work hard. Everything should just come our way without having to do anything. And our whole country, and you might be out of the United States, but the United States was founded on hard work, industry, and high morals and commitment to God. And that's why America is so great. I mean, there's no, that's not a mystery. I mean, that's common sense. You just look, you study them a little bit, and you say, oh, of course, that's what it was. So let me find this one spot that I want to read that's incredible. This is what they learned these by heart, it says. You've got to memorize these and understand these intricately. Have communion with few, be intimate with one. And one is capitalized, every letter. O-N-E is all capitalized, obviously God. Deal justly with all, speak evil of none. Wow! Don't I wish I had that through me and all my children and all my friends and all my extended family and everyone I knew and everybody in the country and everybody in the world. Can you imagine if we all had that in our hearts and we lived that? Pretty remarkable. I love this little book. It's such an easy read, and it's so enlightening. It's enlightening to see what kind of people it helped produce. And hard work, mental hard work, physical hard work, nearness to death being a common occurrence at the time, and a dependence on God, and it just created a society that was able to change the face of the world forever. So it's really an amazing, easy read. It's called the New England Primer, and it was done by, I told him, Benjamin, what's his name? Sorry, Benjamin Harris in 1690. It was the primary textbook for over 200 years in America, and it produced incredible results. So enjoy. If you like this video, please like us on your social networks, Facebook and Twitter and stuff. Also, if you want to get on our email list, and you can get notifications of book discussions and seminars and webinars and things we're going to be doing. And please tell your friends. Thank you. Take care.